If it is your very first time here, hello everybody, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for making your way back home. So some of you may know that I am a host of a conversation, a personal development conversation called Connecting the Dots. Amazing! It started out in 2019. I was actually driving to work in Tata with my husband, and I was 6 months pregnant. And I felt the Holy Spirit saying to me, make an event, do an event. And instantly I went on Facebook and I did like a little questionnaire poll to say, if I did an event, would you come? And I think I got like 50, 40 responses saying, when is it? Give us the dates. I was like, okay, this is a bit of an overwhelming response. I wasn't quite expecting that. Anyway, I saw the responses like, yo, okay. I was like, Lord, okay, what am I going to call it? And I don't think even a second went past when I asked the question about what am I going to call it? And then I just heard connecting the dots in my spirit. It was like, we will figure it out later what dots we're connecting, but it's connecting the dots. I put out the poster, got a little venue. It was a B&B, got a little venue that could accommodate like 30 people. And we ended up with like nearly 50 people in attendance. There was great support. It was amazing. So that's how Connecting the Dots started. And the umbrella of the conversation is connecting the dots, but every year has a different theme. And it's January now of 2023. Last month, we had our third one, which was called Evicting the Imposter. Amazing. Best one we've had yet. And the funny thing is, I say that with each passing conversation, with each passing seminar, that it's the best one we've had yet. And I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with the one in 2023. Now, what I thought would be of value to anyone who is thinking of going into events, somebody who's like, where do I start? Or even somebody who wants to start a business or has a business of event planning, I thought I would come and share my words of wisdom through the experience that I've had. Now, these are in no particular order. I'm just going to share the lessons that I've learned, the mistakes that I've made that are hopefully going to help you grow in your journey of hosting events, either for yourself or for your clients. Number one, plan, plan, plan. I cannot emphasize how much you must plan. Now, to be honest, I've only planned properly and thoroughly for one of the three that I've hosted. Reason being, I'm spoiled by my audience, and I've stopped it. I'm spoiled by my audience because sometimes I would announce an event 3 weeks away from the date and tickets still fly. But I promise I'm not going to do that again. It's January now, and I've already announced that the one for 2023 is on the 2nd of September. So I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. It's not going to, I plan in advance. So plan. In your planning, what are you planning? You're planning your costing. If you are using a business model that is similar to mine, which is partnering with sponsors to help with the costs, you have to approach your sponsors at least 2 to 3 months before the event. One thing that I did really badly last year was the timing. I went to sponsors like 3 weeks before the event. And obviously there were some that turned me away because of they wanted to be a part of the vision because it's so great, but because of time they couldn't. So they said, look, if you give us at least 3 months in advance, especially big corporates. With small business, not small business, but like big business that is not, I don't know how to explain it, but like local business, you can still get away with it. But big corporates, when you want to work with proper big corporates, you can't rock up at their door and say in 3 weeks time I'm doing, no, especially in December, because their calendars are closed, their budgets are done, no. So make sure that you're planning your costing. How do you plan your costing? Let's say your ticket is going to be 100 Rand, right? So if you want goodie bags, if you're going to be eating, if you're going to be at a venue that's going to charge you, if you're going to be having a guest, you have to factor in the cost of each variable out of that 100 Rand. And I'm running it as a business, so I have to factor myself into that cost as well. So you're going to have to say that 20 Rand per ticket is going to goodie bags. So when you go shopping for your goodie bags, you know that it cannot exceed 20 Rand. 20 Rand is going to the venue and the food. So you have to choose an option that is going to fit into the budget that you've worked out according to your ticket cost. 20 Rand is going to go into the cost of the guest speaker. 20 Rand is going to go into the cost of me as the host of the event so that I can get paid too. So that way your planning is a lot cleaner, it's a lot smoother, everything is allocated, you know what you're doing. When you're going into a gift shop, you know that I cannot spend more than 20 Rand here. It can help you see whether you're still on track for your budget or you are completely off track for your budget. So do that first. Number two, I cannot again stress enough the importance of having a good relationship with your decor people. If you're going to be having decor, use a reputable company, use a company that is not only going to offer you a service, but is literally going to marry into the vision of what you're doing. And that's what AL Decor did for us. They literally owned the vision, so much so they've always done connecting the dots decor, so much so that we have made it official that they are the official aesthetic consultants for connecting the dots conversations. So the night before the event, I was panicking. I was like, the vision is not coming to life. I'm not seeing it here. What's in my head is just not manifesting. And we literally went through the night with the team, with AL Decor, just putting things together and trying to bring this vision to life. And I went to bed, it was still not what I had seen in my head. The following morning, AL Decor got there early and they did stuff. I was getting ready, getting my makeup done, getting my hair straightened and everything. When I walked down to come and see if everything, I broke into tears. I broke into tears because they had literally exceeded my expectations. They had gone far beyond what I had asked them to. And you need that kind of service provider, not only for decor, for food, for venue. And I was blessed enough to have, shout out to Tusulezi at the casino. Girl, you did a great job. So you need to find service providers that are literally gonna marry into your vision. If you're gonna be having a guest, make sure that you have clear communication of your expectations. Know that, let them know where you stand so that they can let you know where they stand. You don't want to be finding things out on the event. I'm sure it'll put them at a very uneasy place, and it'll put you at a very uneasy place to be doing a bulk of the communication on the day or like literally minutes before the event starts. So everything that you feel as the host, they need to know, communicate it in advance, and everything they feel that you need to know, they need to communicate it in advance so everything runs smoothly. Be innovative and creative. Create an experience for your audience. Yes, the content is amazing. Yes, the content is rich. Yes, the content is transformative. I create an experience for my audience. It's not just about the audience. It's about, I just get excited thinking about it. It's about the pictures. It's about what happens before the event starts. It's about the activities that happen between it's about. So it's not just about the content. The team tried really hard last year to make sure that people leave with an incredible experience. If you are watching and you were at Connecting the Dots, please let me know what your experience was, because we really do go out of our way to make sure that you leave with content, but you leave with a memorable experience as well. Very important, respect time. Leave no room for African time at all. Like no. If we're saying there's this, I don't know how, there's this habit of saying if it starts at 2, we'll get there at 3. Because people know that events almost always start an hour after the set time. And it is bad. And I get frustrated, I get angry, I get disappointed with myself even talking about this point, because when it comes to this, which is for me the biggest, breathe. We dropped the ball when it came to time this time around. We started about an hour after. I'm gonna cry. I'm literally, I can feel them coming. We started an hour after the scheduled time. And anytime I speak to the team, anytime I never want people to feel like their time is disrespected, and I don't want connecting the dots to be just another event where you know that you can get there an hour or 2 hours later and it's just started. It is the worst thing that can happen, and for me, out of this last event, it is the worst thing that happened. Starting later than yes, there are situations and circumstances that are out of your control, but with every event, try to minimize any possibility or any situation that'll make you start later than what you said. With connecting the dots, I wanted to be ingrained in people's minds that if we said we're starting at 1, if you get there 1:05, you've missed 5 minutes worth of the event. That's how I want it to be. And one of the things that helped me with that, or that have helped me with that, with the past events, is I say we're arriving at 12, but from 12 to 1 o'clock, it's photo shoots, it's rotating camera, it's refreshments, it's networking, it's this and it's that. So people have that hour, and you make it so enticing that people don't want to miss out on that hour of pictures, because we do professional photography and highlight videos. We do quite a lot to try and make sure that people are entertained, and we're still building on that. We're still building and finding ways of how to make sure that people are catered for within that hour of waiting, because people did arrive at 12:05, people arrived at 12, and after 10-15 minutes you've got nothing to do. So we're constantly building on ways of how to entertain people within that hour. But come 1 o'clock, best believe we are starting. So respect people's time. So between this very moment and the last thing I said, it's been 2 hours. We were recording and found out that the audio was not audioing. It was not recording. So if I sound a little bit different, if I look a little bit different, and if my posture or energy is lower, it's because it actually is lower. I was so disappointed. Anyway, let us continue. I think the last thing I talked about was time. I think so. Moving on after time, you have to learn your audience. You have to learn your audience. So one thing that happened with me that really put this into practice was we had started a bit later than, not gonna cry, than we should have. And I was scheduled to speak for 45 minutes because I am the host of the event. And some hosts don't speak, they just have guest speakers, but I'm not that kind of host because I have positioned myself as a public speaker as well. I make it a point that I further position myself as a speaker at my events as well. So the program had 45 minutes of me speaking, but because of time and the delay that had happened throughout the day, I realized that if I was going to push and force matters and say it's my event, I'm going to speak, there's no way I'm not going to speak, that would have ruined the experience for everyone. I'm sure of it. So I had to put ego aside, I had to put passion aside, I had to put whatever aside and make sure that this moment does not ruin because people were hungry. It had been a couple of hours since they first had refreshments on arrival. So I had to really read the room. So be able to read the room, be able to assess the situation, put pride aside, put the schedule, the program aside to make sure that you preserve a good feeling, a good experience for your audience. I had to shrink my 45-minute keynote speech to 10 minutes. And I feel like that 10 minutes did everything that it had to do. And besides that, the two speakers that had gone before me had done a phenomenal job. Really, there was nothing that was left out. They did the job. They said what had to be said. I just went there to put my stamp as the host, but really, honestly, when you think about it and when you assess the situation, there was the only thing that would have forced me to continue would have been pride, and I had put that aside. So watch out for that. You're gonna meet Timon in a minute. She was a rock star when it came to helping me. She was my piece in my modes of temporary insanity. Boom. There she is, Timon Shyamalan.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Listen, I could not have pulled it off without this gem right here. So another point before Timon and I just go into conversation and she reflects on what it was like for her. Another point is you have to get help. You as the host, there is no way, no matter how big or small, there is no way you're going to be able to be on top of the ball for everything. And this one was quite big, and the arrangements and the preparations were bigger than any I've had before. So there were times where her very presence, even if she wasn't doing anything, even if she was scrolling through her Instagram, just having her around gave me peace. So I've worked with Timon in church, I think on 2 big occasions. And she was helping me with those occasions. So when I was venting to a friend of mine, Ovio and Klebi in Cape Town, I was just talking to her, like, there's only one of me, there's like, she says, no, Sikona, there's Timon. Like, so I knew at the back of my head, I would ask Timon to help out, but it wasn't like full on. Like I knew that I was gonna ask you to maybe make a list but when she said that, it clicked on me. No, actually get Timon to be like full time. So Timon was like employed.
Literally. I was literally, can I call you Sis Zoe on your channel?
Call me whatever you want.
I was literally Sis Zoe's, like.
Do you want to call me Zoe?
I want to call you Sis Zoe.
Okay.
It feels weird if I call you by your first name.
Okay.
But yeah, it was, when Sis Zoe asked me to help her out, I was like, okay. Dealing with the big boys. And it was starting off as twice a week.
Yeah.
It was twice a week, but we only did that for a week.
It was twice a week for 2 hours, 3 hours.
For 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was twice a week for 3 hours every week. And that only lasted the 1 week.
Yeah.
The next week, I was like in here every single
Every
day,
day?
grinding with Sizo. Like I was at work and then after work, I'd come straight to Sizo and like help out. And I won't lie, it was in the beginning, I was like, okay, like this is big girl stuff, like you need to be serious. But I did learn a lot and I'm so grateful that you asked me.
Yeah.
I remember on the actual event, like afterwards when everything happened and finished, I literally cried and I was
She
like,
did?
I can't believe you, like, thank you for trusting me with your baby. I was so emotional. I was like, why are you crying? But yeah, that's how much it meant to me, like in her asking me to take on such a big project, because it was your baby.
Yeah.
And she really did. Do I talk about you in the third person?
Whatever
I don't know.
person.
You really trusted me with like your vision.
Yeah.
You know?
Like it was in your hands.
Yeah, basically it was in my hands. And the fact that
sorry, but there were moments I'm like, you decide tomorrow, you choose. I don't know, you choose.
And the fact that it was so successful, I was just like, okay, I did it. Like we pulled it off. So I'm really, really happy about that. Are you crying? Don't cry. Think about the makeup.
I don't know why I'm crying.
You're gonna make me cry. Don't cry.
Okay, don't cry.
But
yeah. So what was your biggest takeaway from everything? Like, okay, I don't know what to ask, but like, what was your most stressful moment? What was your happiest moment? What was...
Okay.
I don't even have a tissue, but okay. Yeah.
We didn't think ahead.
No.
We didn't try. I think I learned a lot of skills, that I'll put on my CV now.
Tell them what I said to you on your first day on the job.
What did you say? Oh! Okay, so first job, I come, it's chill, it's vibes, and then my friend calls me, and then I step out, and I have like, I think it was like for an hour.
Yeah.
I was on the phone. I was on the phone for like an hour, and then like at the end of the phone call, I'm like, actually dog, I'm at work. I'm like on the clock, so bye. But it's been an hour already. And then I come back into the office and see Zoe's like, what did you say? You were just like, you were on the phone for long. And I'm like, yeah, it was my friend. And then Zoe was like, there's something about like this thing, it's called emotional intelligence. And I'm like, yeah, I know what emotional intelligence is. And then she was like, yeah, so if you're at work and you're on the clock and I'm paying you, you cannot be on the phone for an hour. And I was like, actually, that makes so much sense. Because I'm getting paid for this hour and I was literally on the phone for that whole hour.
But I love that we could have that conversation and not have bad vibes.
Yeah, it was like, I think think I take correction really well.
No, you do.
Actually.
You do.
So I don't think there was, I learned really quickly from that moment, and that's when I realized that, okay, this is big girl things. Like, this isn't just like play things. It's like someone's vision. This is like, we gotta take it seriously.
Yeah, sorry. So I interjected. You were still saying your biggest...
About,
like,
oh, yes. My biggest, I learned a lot of lessons. I learned, like, what do they call it? When you talk to the suppliers, I learned, like, it was basically project management. I don't need to go study project management this was a huge project. I learned that, like, just being professional with people, because I've never been in that setting. I'm a fresh graduate, so I've never been in a setting where I have to deal with, like, like,
but you did it so well. You were you killed it, Tamon.
Thank you.
Yeah. What was your most, apart from the water, we had a water crisis.
Yo, guys, the water. Yo, that's why you need to plan ahead, because these courier guys, not the courier guy, they're not the problem. Let me not put them on blast.
The industry itself?
It's the other one, the other company. Yo, they really, like, played around with our water, and I was like on the phone.
And it's not like we could just get water from anywhere else.
We had
to be
vision.
black water.
We had a vision.
It had to be bottles of water that had a black cap. So we couldn't just buy any other, like, blue bottled water. It had to be
a black cap,
so that it would fit with the rest of the brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was
stressful.
That was stressful.
Nobody knew where the water was, and it was like Friday, and the event was
Sunday. Yes, Friday morning. I mean, it's reaching 12 o'clock. Our water hasn't gotten here. This water's coming from Cape Town.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can just get into our cars and, like, go and get into our cars. And go fetch this water. So it was and I was also, like, going to East London on that day.
Yeah.
So I couldn't physically be with Cizo, and Cizo is stressing. When I wasn't around.
Like,
you stressed. Yeah. And I was stressing. It was just, and then when the water arrived, it literally felt like they were taking a truck off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Do you think I had moments of being like hard? I don't know how to say it. Like, did I have, am I difficult to work for?
No, not at all. I don't think you're difficult to work for at all. I think someone just needs to understand you and how you work. You like nice things, and you like things in order. You like to know what's happening and when it's happening. You don't like your things like scatterbrain.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're difficult to work with at all. Even in terms of, like, when you don't like something, I think you address it really well. I didn't feel offended or anything when you did reprimand me the first day. So I think she's a really good boss. What
I really enjoyed working with you is that, and I mentioned it, when, like, work with people who are going to, like, literally marry into your vision. And Tamon, it wasn't my baby, it was our baby. I really loved working with you, and I know that you're not always going to be available, but I really hope and pray that whoever God sends my way, they are at least half of what you are.
You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me...
Chocho, your turn to cry.
That is so sweet.
And another thing is, like, my people were so impressed with you.
Yeah, your
like,
people were pulling me aside.
Fell in love with you, and that was mission accomplished.
Yeah,
people felt seen. People felt attended to. You extended yourself far beyond what the call of duty.
So I would say, like, also out of the water, going back to that. The most stressful, there's nothing as stressful as the day of the event. Yeah. Like, that was, I feel like in the morning it was calm.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was just like, poo, 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 poo. Like, our station wasn't set up, people were coming, the card machine was making things also. And people weren't coming in, like, calmly. Also, guys, when you're going to an event, okay, just sit fast. Don't just bombard the reception desk. It's very overwhelming. People think, like, they can come late, right? And then, because our event was supposed to start at 1, right? And then we were late, we started at 2. And then some people came at 3. So there's a whole process of things people went through leading up to the actual start of the event.
Yeah.
Like welcome drinks, they had some tea, they had
pictures,
little snacks,
video.
And then someone comes at 3, And then our refreshment station for like coffee and stuff and snacks was set up at the back. And then in the room where we were having the event, and then people make coffee. You know? So you can't come late and then expect to get these luxuries right away that people got when they were on time, because now you're being disruptive. So that was my big thing with time also.
It's very important to keep time for us and for the audience as well. It's a two-way thing.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Right. So any other advice you have for, I don't know, event planners?
Make it your own. I think that's why people received the event so well. They could see that it was literally our hearts and souls and guts and organs in that event. Like people could, from the decor to the people to the Queen's Casino who was our venue, to everyone that volunteered, to you, to me.
Shout out to the volunteers. They
volunteers, and sorry guys, I shouted you also, but thank you. They really, really pulled through. But people can tell when your heart and soul is not in it. And I think that's why everyone received it the way. So I think my one advice, and I think if you have this, your event will be successful. Put your all in it. You will not regret it. It will pay off at the end of the day.
Thank you for helping me.
Thank you for
help the world.
Letting me help you. Help the world. Make a better place for you and me.
Right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this added value to your life in one way or the other. If you have not subscribed, please make sure that you do so. It helps me grow the channel. And again, let us interact in the comment section below. Let me know if you attended CTD 22, and let me know if you will be coming to CTD 23.
Coming soon. Dun, dun, dun!
2nd September!
Okay. There you go.
Awesome.
Are you happy?
Very.